What's going on, y'all? Back again, another day. And today, what we're talking about is Are You a Play? I'll break it down, I'll explain it in a second. But of course, before we do that, go ahead on and make sure that you hit that like button. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're liking what I'm saying, be sure to leave a comment. And then always, of course, make sure that you share so we can get this message across the air. All right. But yeah, today what we're talking about is Are You a Plate? And I want to do this one a little differently. I want to start off with the story. One day I called my mentor and I was talking to him because I was going through a situation. Every time I deal with certain family members, it would never really work out in my favor. I wasn't really being respected like that. I wasn't really being treated the way that I felt I should have been. Just the respect factor wasn't there. And so, he listened and he listened and he was patient. And then after a while, he was like, this is the last time we're going to have this conversation because, this is a pattern and you're a fool for not, paying attention to the pattern and moving and reacting differently. And, basically I was like, well, what do you mean? Usually when we have conversations, I don't really take anything personal or get offended by what he says because I know it's coming from a place of pure intentions. And that's something, young folks and people my age, we need to learn how to do. Take constructive criticism if it's coming from the correct place. Everybody isn't hating on you. Everybody doesn't want to see you lose. Everybody isn't out to get you. Sometimes people are actually giving you advice because they want the best for you. You got to determine if that advice is something that you can use and learn from, or if it's something that you need to take with a grain of salt. The best way I can tell you how to take advice from people is don't take advice from anybody that doesn't live the lifestyle that you want to live, or they aren't something that you will want to be. So but at the same time, let me stand back on that. You can learn from anybody. You know what I'm saying? If a crackhead tells you not to do crack, if a alcoholic tells you not to drink, and they give you reasons and examples why you probably shouldn't, you might want to listen. But as far as people giving you life advice and advice about career paths and things like that, if a nigga that works at the gas station tells you that, you need to work hard and you look at the results and they don't really live the lifestyle that you want to live, you might not want to take advice from that person because the work doesn't support. There's no evidence. There's nothing to say that this person is qualified to give advice because they don't have the track record to prove it. There's nothing that they can say that shows that they are able to give quality advice because they don't live the advice that they give. So, anyways, he was saying, we've had this conversation numerous times and you just don't seem to realize that, every time you do X, then Y happens. And it's like it happens every time, but yet you choose to continue to ignore the situation and the circumstances. And so you always end up in the same spot. And then we end up having these conversations. I tell you what to do, but you don't listen. And so it was like, let me give you an example. Let me break it down for you how people treat you. I was like, oh, here we go. And so he was like, when you go in the kitchen, what do you need to eat? I'm like, fork, spoon, plate. He was like, plate, perfect, perfect. So let me ask you this. Can a plate, what I'm saying, get up and put food on itself? I was like, no, of course not. Plates don't move. Somebody has to move the plate, and he was like, well, can the plate decide what goes on it? Can a plate say, yeah, I don't like fried chicken today, so we just not going to hold fried chicken? I was like, no, of course not. And he was like, well, what about the order of what things go on the plate? Can the plate decide that? No. He was like, well, what happens when you finish with a plate? I'm like, if it's a paper plate, you throw it in the trash. If it's a actual glass plate or a plate of a different material, you wash it and you put it back away. He was like, a lot of times you end up being a plate. And when he said it, I was like, God damn, like, dang, that's crazy. And so, because when he said it instantly, it hit my mind. Like, all right, I get what you're saying. But then he broke it down further. He was like, you let people put things on you that don't really have any concern with you. You let people use you any kind of way, how it doesn't benefit you. And then, once you serve your purpose with them, then they'll either wash you or put you away, or they'll throw you in the trash, until the next time they need you. And, it was like, you got to stop being a plate, man. And, I had to sit there and eat it, because it was absolutely right. Like there was times where I was there for people and, try to do the best I can to come through for them. But when I need them, it's not the same energy, or, they'll dump their problems on me, but I can't dump my problems on anybody. Like that's the thing about being a man. Like, it's really hard to talk to people because if you do, then chances are 9 times out of 10 they'll say you being soft or you complaining. But, as men, you definitely have to find an outlet. Like dealing with this thing called life on your own, and you are bound to self destruct because it's just so much that we have to deal with. And then if you happen to be a black man, oh my God, I think I'm gonna do another episode one day this week. Do Black lives really matter, and are black men really protected? I think I'm gonna table that and do that for later because I don't want to get too far off subject with this one. But yeah, we definitely gonna revisit that. Anyways, moving back. So yeah, he was like, you got to stop being the plate. You need to start being the person that puts the food on the plate. You need to be the person that washes the dishes. You need to be the person that stores the plate. You know what I'm saying? And it was very profound to me at the time. And as much as I would love to take credit and say I just sat there and thought of this analogy, I did not. My mentor, we were having a conversation. I told him what I was dealing with and what I was going through, and that's when he dropped that on me. And also, definitely, black men, we need to start seeking mentorship and finding people that are, where we want to be and soaking up game from them, listening, learning, doing what we need to do to proceed to the next level. Because, a lot of us, we come from single parent households. I came from a single mother household. And a lot of times I ended up being super emotional, which is why a lot of my videos, I'm telling you not to be so emotional because I've made emotional decisions. I blew up and overreacted when I could have had a simple conversation. Like I got a whole bunch of traumas internally that I'm learning to grow and deal with individually, which is why, I always try to get back and tell y'all, man, like, learn how to have conversations, even the uncomfortable ones, without getting upset, without getting defensive, without, trying to fight or without trying to shoot somebody. Nowadays that's cool. But, sitting down and having a conversation with somebody in a mature way and figuring out how to solve a problem is what you should be doing. So, if you look back and you see situations where you are arguing with people all the time, or somebody said something to you and they tried to give you some good game and you rejected that game because you didn't want to listen because you felt like you were personally attacked, that's emotionalism. That's not what men do. Men have emotions. Again, I always love saying, we don't walk around being the Terminator, but, we're able to think with our brains and not with our hearts, So that's it. Today, I just want to leave y'all with a question. Are you a plate? Are you a tool that people are picking up and using when it's convenient or when they need to get something done? And then, they wash you or they put you in the trash? Or, are you the person that puts the food on the plate? Are you the person that uses the tool and gets what you need? You know, just let that sink in, let it wander, let it linger, rather, let it marinate, as they used to say back in the day. Um, and yeah, just let that sink in and apply it to your life. Hopefully, it helps somebody out here today. Maybe it'll change your life. Maybe it'll make somebody take ownership and accountability for their own lives. Maybe it'll cause you to get rid of that person that is only bringing negativity to your life and not adding positivity. Um, Maybe it's your girlfriend. Maybe it's your mom. Maybe it's your baby mama. Maybe it's your sister. Maybe it's your brother. Maybe it's your grandma. Whoever it is, you need to learn how to respectfully deal with that person. And you know what I'm saying? Defend your sanity and your mentality. At the end of the day, nobody's going to take care of you better than you. You have your brain, you have your body. You got to cherish it. You got to worship it. Right now I'm doing this 75 hard challenge where, I'm trying to mentally improve myself, physically improve myself, just push myself to the next level and elevate. It requires discipline. You have to be disciplined to deal with people the way that they need to be dealt with. It requires a lot more than just being, oh, rah, 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 I'm a man. No, it's actually ways that you go about and handling things. So, I'm going to leave this one right there. Like I said, of course, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that share button. Make sure you leave a comment. And make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. And that's it.